Thomas Donaldson.
Yeah!
Yeah, I am from Charleston, South Carolina, the best city on the planet. I go to Clemson University, best university on the planet. I stand, despite last night, I stand behind my Clemson Tigers. Before we get started, I just thought it was really cool when Dion was praying. He said, "Thank you for the opportunity to come worship." And this is like, that has nothing to do with what I was going to say tonight. But I think it's really cool that to just think about how everything we just did up here can be worship. And like the college guys aren't here to come sing, to like sing together and sing songs tonight, but it's just something to think about, that how our whole lives can be worship. That's free. I don't know what to say. Anyways, like I said, I go to Clemson. Clemson is the best place other than Charleston. I love it. I'm a senior there, which is kind of sad, and kind of nice too. Anyways, one of the things I've been doing my whole time at Clemson is I've been kind of involved with an organization there called FCA. Do y'all know what FCA is? Yeah. Well, in Clemson, it's actually the biggest student-run organization in the country. Every Thursday they run like 1,000 to 1,500 people through their Thursday night gathering, and it's completely led by Clemson students. So that's pretty neat, and they do a lot of fun things, like they have events like dances every now and then. They're really fun. And they do mission trips. Every December they take a mission trip overseas somewhere, and then every spring break they take a big mission trip to a city somewhere in the United States. So have any of y'all ever been on a mission trip? So if you have that mission trip that you've been on in your head, put it on steroids, then you would get the Clemson FCA spring break mission trip. Basically, they take like 400 people and just invade a city for like 5 days, and it's awesome. So my freshman year, the trip went to Memphis, and so I went as a freshman, had a lot of fun. I ate at a restaurant where B.B. King got his big break. I don't know who B.B. King is. If you don't, then I'll pray for you. But this was a lot of fun. And then my sophomore year, I decided I wanted to be a group leader for the mission trip that year. So the way it works is to take like 400 people. They got to kind of make it smaller in order to make it effective. And so they split everybody up into groups of 15, and that you ride with your group in a 15-passenger van and spend the whole week with your group, and all the different groups go out to different like ministry sites to do work during the week. So I was a group leader. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to let a 19-year-old college student lead a bunch of other college students in a city I'd never been to. But someone thought it was a good idea, or maybe they just didn't think about it at all. But I did it. So the first night there, we get there, it's a Saturday night, and we like move into the hotel and everything. They're like, okay, dinner's on your own. So find your group leader and go out to eat somewhere. So I gather my group. We're walking down the streets, DC, and Saturday night, so like there's a lot of locals out in restaurants and stuff, and we just brought 400 college people, so like every restaurant near the hotel is just packed, and we can't find a place for all 15 of us to eat. So keep walking. My group is kind of grumbling. They're like, we're really hungry. We got to be back at the hotel for the session later that night. And so keep walking around, like, all right, just got to find some place. So we see this place. It just says Crystal City Restaurant. And the part of town we're in is called Crystal City. Great place. Yeah, it's not that great part of town, but the hotel was cheap, so that's why we were there. But, so Crystal City Restaurant, like, okay, it's a restaurant, probably has food, so it'll work. It's got this weird, like, metallic, kind of, like, futuristic thing going on, the architecture outside, it's just kind of weird looking. And it's, like, in this building by itself, like, separated from all the other, like, really tall buildings. It's, like, just, like, this building in the parking lot. And it has no windows, so, like, this place is really sketchy. But my group's like, we're really hungry, and it says restaurant, so I'm like, there's food there. So we walk up to it, and it has the menus posted in like the things you see in the movie theater that have like posters outside the movie theater. It has menus posted on one of those outside. They're like, never seen this before. And again, I've never crossed the Mason-Dixon line, so maybe this is what it's like up north. Or just in the south, technically. Nobody knows exactly. Anyway, I didn't think about that. It's just there. It's like not a state. Like, it's got identity problems. So yeah, we look at the menu and all the food is really cheap. And we're like, all right, it's like $4.50 for a hamburger. We're like, cheap food, pretty far away from the hotel. We just need to get some food and get back. And so I'm like, all right, you all stay outside. I'm going to go in and see if they have room to sit all 15 of us. And so I'm walking in, and this like couple walks in right before me, and the girl's wearing like all this like netting stuff. I'm like, and so I walk in the front door, and there's like this black room, and like a little lobby, like really dimly lit. Walk in the next door, and there's a hole from the ceiling to the floor, and a woman with no clothes on dancing around the pole. So it was like, so I grabbed my group, I'm like, all right, let's get out of here, down the street, gotta go somewhere else. And I was like, it was a strip club. And they're like, that's why there's no windows. That's why they have the menus outside. And this couple walking in right before me. And so it was just like, oh, Thomas Allison from Charleston, South Carolina, so cultured, taking my group on a mission trip to a strip club. So, yeah, we get back to the hotel that night, and somehow word got around, and like the speaker heard about it. And so that night for the session, he's like cracking some jokes at the beginning before he starts his talk. And he's like, yeah, I hear Crystal City's got some great restaurants. But just don't go to Crystal City restaurants, it's a strip club. You can ask Thomas Allison about that. So then the whole rest of the week, everyone's like, hey, you want to go to the strip club? And they're just like making fun of me, and it was kind of funny. And so that whole week, I like felt the pressure, the tension of leading this group of college students without really knowing what I was doing. I'd never been to DC before. I didn't know my way around. I was in charge of being in contact with the people at the mission sites we were going to work with, and the whole time I was just kind of like feeling it out as I went, just not really knowing what I was doing. And I think that that's just kind of how we are in life sometimes, that we all know the feeling. We don't have to go to a city we've never been to or like a foreign country to know what it feels like to not know what we're doing. Like, has anybody ever been like, y'all agree with that? Does that make sense? Thank you. Affirmation. So, I think that like being kind of feeling lost is kind of part of our nature. And I think that the Bible makes it really clear that at some point we're all lost. And in Luke 19, Jesus says that he came to seek and save the lost, which is really good news for us. But it'd be really easy for us in here to be like, oh yeah, Jesus came to seek and save the lost. So like those people, like the people that go party on Friday night, or like Muslims, or like people that don't believe in Jesus, you know, just like since we're in here and we read the Bible and we go to church and stuff, like Jesus came to seek the other people. But if that's our mentality, then that just doesn't line up with Scripture at all, and that's just completely wrong. So, in Isaiah 53, it's a passage of the suffering servant. Really, really famous passage out of the Old Testament. It's a prophecy about Jesus. It says, he was pierced for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. And there's this verse in there that says, we all like sheep have gone astray. Each one of us has followed our own way. And so that just like sets it up so perfectly for us that every single one of us, whether we're in this room or out there doing something else, like we've all gone astray. And there's nothing we can do about it. And I really like that illustration of the sheep, because it's something that remains consistent all the way throughout the Bible. All throughout Scripture, you see people, this metaphor of the sheep and the shepherd and his flock. Old Testament, you've got Moses. Moses is out tending his flock when God comes to him and tells him that he wants him to go be the one to lead his people out of Israel. And so then Moses goes to Pharaoh, and he's this shepherd figure for the Israelites all the way through the desert into the promised land. He's got a staff to prove it and everything. And then you've got David, who, this little David, shepherd boy, out tending his flock, spins a rock around and goes fly. And he's like, what the heck? That's awesome. And then he goes on to be king. God says, "It's a man after my own heart." And he was just a shepherd. And then he goes on to write a lot of the Psalms, like Psalm 23, where he says, "The Lord is my shepherd." And that whole thing is just awesome. And then, of course, you got the New Testament. Jesus says, "I am the good shepherd." And he refers to us as his flock. He also tells Peter, "If you love me, feed my sheep." There's just like sheep all over the Bible. And so I was like, what's the deal with the sheep? And so I want to look at that passage where Jesus says he's a good shepherd tonight. It's in John 10. I turned there earlier, but I didn't, so I'm turning there now. John, in the New Testament. So let me read this a little bit right here. John 10, verse 1. To tell you the truth, anyone who sneaks over the wall of a sheepfold, rather than going through the gate, must surely be a thief and a robber. But the one who enters through the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him. The sheep recognize his voice and come to him. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. After he has gathered his flock, he walks ahead of them, and they follow him because they know his voice. So, does anybody know anything about sheep? Fluffy. They are fluffy. They what? They can't do anything on their command. They all stand up here and just got some. Yeah, so sheep. I heard someone say sheep are dumb. And that, you said that? I was just saying, I heard you. Tanner said sheep are dumb. Tanner is right on the money. They are very stupid animals. Experts think that sheep are one of the first animals to be domesticated by people. So, like, one of the first animals to, like, for people to ever come and be like, "Hey, we're gonna make you a pet." Or, "Hey, we're gonna raise you and kill you." Which is basically what being domesticated is. Sorry, you're a vegetarian. Well, I guess they just kind of shave them. I guess it's lamb chops. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, so they're one of the first domesticated animals, and they say that because of that, since they haven't really been wild animals for thousands and thousands of years, they've basically lost all of their natural instincts. And like Jacob said, they can't do anything on their own. So yeah, they're really dumb. But I don't really know anything about sheep other than what I hear people say and what I read. So I did some research online, and yeah, tried on sheep. Something like that. But anyways, here's some stories of what people say that have like raised sheep and grew up on a farm. Because one guy says, "While herding sheep, I've often seen one jump over a hurdle or a temporary barrier. Then after the hurdle was removed, many following sheep would jump in the same spot over the now imaginary hurdle." That's enlightening. Here's another one. "My brother's sheep would get their heads stuck in the wheel wells of cars if they had access." Also, when it came time for slaughter, seeing one sheep get shot in the head didn't seem to raise any red flags among the others when you approached them later in the day with a pistol in their hand. So, as you can see, they're not the brightest animals. Sorry, that's kind of graphic. But that's just the nature of the beast. It's fun. Yeah. So you might be sitting there like, okay, so you're saying Jesus is telling me I'm dumb. And I don't think that's what he's saying. You might be dumb, but I don't think that's what he's saying. I think that you can take that up with someone else some other time. I want to look at verse 4. He says, "After he's gathered his own flock, he walks ahead of them, and they follow him because they know his voice." So I don't think Jesus is saying that you're dumb. I think he's just trying to make a point, kind of like Jacob said, that sheep can't do anything without their shepherd. Another fact about sheep is that, I guess this kind of plays into them being dumb part, or maybe it's just, I guess they're just dumb. But they won't drink from running water. Like if a stream's like flowing or a river's flowing, they won't drink from it. I don't know if they're scared of it or if they just don't realize it's water, but a sheep will literally, like, it will stand by like a running stream of perfectly clean, fresh water, and it will die of dehydration because it will not drink from it. So it's kind of, oh yeah, it's kind of sad. But which actually, this is another side note, makes a lot of sense of Psalm 23 when David says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters." Because David was a shepherd. He knows these things as a sheep from when he was out there as a boy. And so what he's saying, or what the Holy Spirit's saying through him is, the shepherd knows the needs of the sheep. The shepherd knows that he can't lead his sheep to a river and expect them to drink, because they just won't do it. And so he leads them by still waters. And the thing about still waters is that they're often contaminated. Some of my friends think I'm an idiot, but I hate swimming pools. I'm from Charleston, from the ocean. Grew up swimming in the ocean, and I think swimming pools just gross me out, really. I really think I got a swimming pool for the first time this summer in like 4 years, because it was at the Aqua pool party or something. I was like, I really want to think I'm cool. I'll just get the pool. I don't think did it work? Okay, it didn't work. Well, then I'm never getting in a pool again. But anyways, yeah, so the shepherd has to know where it's safe, clean water that they can lead the sheep to. And I think David's hitting on that. So, Jesus is trying to say that the shepherd needs the sheep. Because if they'll just stand there by clean water and not drink it, they're obviously in need of somebody to show them where to go. So I think the question for us relating to that is, do you recognize your need for Jesus if you're really trying to follow him? If I'm assigned a task to do and I think I can do it on my own, then I'm not going to ask him to help me. If I'm like, Dion's like, hey, I need you to carry the stool and move over there. I'm like, or school's like, Tanner, can you help me get this? Like, it's not what I'm going to do, because I don't need it, so I don't really recognize the need to ask anybody for help. But if we want to follow Jesus, we have to recognize our need for him. And I think we do this all the time. If we're believers, we get into this routine of go to church and pray, or read my Bible, go to church, pray, read my Bible, go to church, pray, read my Bible. And we get into this habitual thing, and then we can just push Jesus out of the picture. Be like, here's Christianity, it's just about doing this stuff. And it's really easy to just kind of forget that the whole point is to have a relationship with the living God. So I find myself doing this, and then you screw up. You can't do it. Then you're really just doing it on your own. You land on your face and you fool yourself, or someone catches you in sin, and you're like, I don't even know how I got here. And then you have to, that's when I just crap. You gotta repent. Jesus, I need you. I don't know why I forgot that I need you. I need you. Philippians 4:13, really famous verse says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. People love to get that tattooed and be like, I can do all things, so I'm gonna be a bodybuilder, or I can do anything through Christ who strengthens me. Which is really cool, and that's true. But if you're gonna embrace that truth, then you also have to embrace the opposite, which is, if you can do anything through Christ who strengthens you, then apart from Christ, you can do what? Nothing. So it's how are you going to be I can do everything through Christ? And then, because that's kind of a scary thought if you think about it, because if you're I can do everything through Christ, then the second you step into your own strength, you're just weak, and you can't really do anything. See, I think Jesus is saying that sheep recognize their need for the shepherd. Just like if we want to follow Jesus faithfully, we have to recognize our need for him. Another huge thing we see in this passage is the repetition of Jesus saying things like, sheep hear my voice, or the shepherd leads them, or the shepherd speaks to them. And he says those kinds of things 7 times, referring to the voice of the shepherd and the sheep listening. But I think if he says something 7 times, you should pay attention to it. So the next question will just be, do you know the shepherd's voice? And back in Bible times, whenever that was, shepherds would be out in the fields with their flock or whatever, grazing, chilling, staff, on holes and stuff. Sometimes I think being a shepherd would be kind of fun. Just get to chill out in the wilderness, with really long hair. Over here? Yeah, I can't get over here. Maybe if I was a shepherd, I could. It's a sad story. It's actually something. Should have said that. So when they're out in the fields with the sheep, what they would do is just talk to the sheep. Just literally if y'all are all, pretend you're all sheep, they would literally just be like, hey. Exactly. They would just be like, hey sheep, what's up? Raisins. I don't know what they would say. I don't think it's a Dr. Doolittle or Wild Thornberrys kind of thing, where they would talk to animals. Y'all know Wild Thornberrys? Yeah. It makes me really happy. I wasn't expecting to do that. I'm not that old. Anyways, so they would just talk to the sheep, And so the sheep will become familiar with their voice because it's the only person they hear talking to. The other sheep aren't talking to them the way the person is. And so then when the nighttime came, all these different shepherds from like different tribes, different flocks would come together, and they would lead their sheep like up against a cliff or like a rock wall or something, just some kind of natural barrier to protect them. And they would just put them all in one big flock. And then all the different shepherds would camp in like a semicircle around them to protect them from like wolves or whatever kind of predators are out there. And so like all the sheep from all the different flocks would get all intermingle with each other. They'd become friends, sheep friends. And so you think when the morning came, you would think that it would be kind of difficult because the shepherd would have to go through and be like, okay, this one's mine, this one's yours, you go over there, you know, like picking teams for dodgeball, like, all right, you're on my team, everybody split up, find your shepherd. But what they would do is, even if there would be like 4 or 5, I thought someone was shushing me. I was like, sorry. It's really rude. But what they would do is, because the sheep knew the shepherd's voice, even though they would all be mixed up, the shepherd would just start walking off different directions and calling to their sheep, and all the sheep that were mixed up would just naturally go to their shepherd because they recognized his voice and they would follow him. And that's like a crazy thought, and it's really good for shepherds. But I think that that's the kind of relationship that Jesus wants to have with us. He wants us to know his voice, otherwise he wouldn't have said it 7 times in this one passage. So if we want to follow Jesus, we need to listen. We need to learn to listen to him. We need to learn to listen to how God speaks. And so you're like, how does God speak? Funny you should ask. Let me just name 3. First, this is like the most basic thing ever. This is the Bible. It's a multi-millennium bestseller, and this is God's Word. And it's like, if you call yourself a Christian and you're not reading this thing, or you want to follow Jesus, and you're not like in this thing on the reg, then you're pretty much in the creek. Just saying. That's kind of harsh. But like, that's like saying, if I'm dying of thirst, and I'm like, I'm so thirsty, I'm so thirsty, I'm ready to die, please somebody give me some water. I'm like, hey, here's a cup of water. You're like, no, thanks. I'm so thirsty, please. Like, it's like, it like doesn't make sense. It's a non sequitur. You know what that means? Well, it's an SAT word for you. It means like doesn't follow. It's one of your words.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Non sequiturs. Write that down. Non sequitur. Okay, enough about the non sequitur. It doesn't make sense to say you love Jesus and not love the Bible as well, because that's his word. And that's, he can speak to you. He speaks to me all the time through the Bible. It's awesome. You should read it. Another way God can speak to his sheep, or to his people, is just through other people, which is why we try to live in community. It's why we go to church, and why we do stuff like this. It's because other people can speak, God can speak through other people too. So like, my roommates that I have lived with for the past 3 years can come to me and be like, hey, this time you did this, yeah, you didn't notice that, but that was really messed up. Or they can like point out my sin in ways that I won't be able to see it. And then they can like lead me to repentance, and they can keep me accountable, they can encourage me in ways that other people can't. It's also why God speaking through other people is why I'm up here. It's why Dion gets up here every week. It's not because we're really cool and we have funny jokes and stuff to say. Like, what we do when we get up here is we're hoping that God will use us to speak to you. Like, if you don't get anything else out of this night, like, we just hope that God has spoken to you. That's why people get on stage to talk. It's not so that you can listen to us. Because Dion's not cool. I can go on the record. Because he makes fun of me every time he gets up to speak and I'm in the room. Did it in Allendale, did it this summer. Dion's not cool. Not cool out there. I mean, quiet there. Anyways, the third way that I have that is really vague and this isn't really fair. How can God speak to you? Whatever he wants. Any other way. Any other way he wants to speak to you. If you want to look at the Bible and the ways God speaks to his people, you could say dreams, visions. He could send an angel to talk to you. He could send a donkey to come to you, open his mouth, and the donkey would start talking to you and tell you what God has to say. Because that happens in the Bible. Or he could make a giant hand appear on the wall and start writing stuff. Because that happens in the Bible too. Basically, you can't put God in a box when it comes to how he operates. Because every time you try to do that, he'll just break out and be like, boom, you thought I was like this, but I'm actually way cooler than that. But yeah, the awesome thing about listening for God's voice is that if you're in Christ, He's given us the gift of the Holy Spirit. And that's why before Jesus came, before Acts, before Acts was written, God had to speak to His people in all these crazy ways, like donkeys and invisible hands and stuff, because there was more prophets. He used prophets a lot. But we have the Holy Spirit, so the Holy Spirit testifies about Jesus. That's what Jesus said. The Holy Spirit, He said, He will testify about it. So God can speak to us on His own terms. And I think listening for God's voice is the kind of thing like we listen to a friend. Because the more I know Wes, me and Wes met this summer, we've been hanging out a lot. I like him. He's a cool guy. But I don't know him that well. But hopefully I'll get to know him some more. But like the more I know Wes, do you ever have a friend that's like, you know them so well, that like, they'll be sitting there and be like, you know what we should do? And they'll be like, what? And they'll be like, oh, I know, we should, you know? Just like, you can almost like read each other's minds. And you're just like, maybe it's like a sibling. Maybe twins are like that. Maybe it's like that with Will. Read minds. Okay. But the more you know somebody, the more you understand them, the more you can hear their voice. I've heard it said, like, if you've been married to somebody for 50 years, I heard this something similar from some other guy, I don't know who it was. It was like, I've been married to my wife for 50 years, and if all people in this room started talking, just chatting away, and then my wife just started chatting away, not any louder than anybody else, I'd be able to pick her voice out of it. And like, just because they spent some, you're going to awe for killing sheep, and God's somewhere to sheep. Here's what I suppose. Yeah. And so just like, the more time you spend with Jesus, the more time you invest in your relationship with Him, the more you'll be able to hear His voice. So yeah, the sheep know the shepherd's voice. So the question for you, if you call yourself a Christian, if you want to know Jesus, the question is, are you actively pursuing God's voice, listening to Him? One more thing and I'll be done. The reason I chose this passage is because my favorite Bible verse is in it. I don't know if you have a favorite Bible verse. I don't know if that's even like biblical, because I guess all the Bible verses are great. But yeah, John 10:10 says, "The thief came to steal, kill, and destroy, but I've come that you may have life, and life to the full." Some translations say life abundantly, or what does the next say? It says satisfying life, or something like that. Which is awesome, because I feel like it hits on a piece of Christianity that gets lost or just completely ignored a lot of the time. And that's that we're supposed to enjoy our walk with Christ. Like, we're supposed to enjoy the time we spend with the Lord, the time we spend in community. So, like, I hope y'all enjoy y'all's time here, because if you're not enjoying it, then we're not really presenting the gospel that well. Someone once said, a really smart guy once said, if you bore teenagers with the gospel is a sin. And I stand behind that 100%. I think that if you bore somebody by telling them the gospel, or you bore somebody, I just think that's messed up, because Jesus is the coolest thing ever. I have a slide, but not yet. I'm taking this marketing class, and one of the first days, my brother's been with me, takes good notes. I did better on the test than him, you should ask him about it. I'm on this marketing class, and one of the first days, we talked about false advertising, and they showed this picture. So you got this kiddie pool, and this is what it looks like on the box, and then this is what it is in real life. Like, it's kind of a bad picture, but you see how disappointed, like, that's just not right. The kids are like, oh, I'm getting this. I'm going to be sliding down, and at the same time, these two people are going to be jumping in, and I'm going to shoot the basketball, and they're like, I can maybe fit 1.5 people in here. And I feel like this is how a lot of people think of Christianity, and this is like their experience. You can take that away, otherwise I'm going to be distracted. That like, we say Jesus is the best thing ever. We say Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to me. And then I've heard stories like people who I've talked to are like, I don't want to have anything to do with Jesus. It's because they spent some time in church, they go to church, and they're like, these people people are just as miserable as me. I don't need what they have. More than I do. Or they come to a Bible study and like these people just bicker, and when I'm around them, when they're not together, they're gossiping about each other, and we're just like, I don't need that. You know, there's no reason for that. And so I guess like final thing is just like, what does it mean to have abundant life in Jesus? And how do we make that happen? Because we don't want to be false advertising. And I think that true joy in your walk with Christ, or really true joy in life, can only come when you're fully surrendered to the Lord. So if you're a Christian, the thing to ask yourself is, okay, what's an area of my life that I haven't given up to Christ? What's an area of my life that I'm keeping secret and I hope nobody will know about? Because really when you keep it secret, all it is it's just tearing you up inside. And if you share it, get out in the open, then other people can come alongside you and help you grow in that, help you overcome, and then you'll have more joy. And then you'll have more abundant life, like Jesus said. And if you're not a Christian, then it's like, okay, do I want abundant life, or do I want a mediocre life, or do I want average life? And that's not really much of it. I don't know. Basically, Jesus promises life to the full. And, I mean, personally speaking, I think all the other leaders in here would say he delivers on his promises every time. So if you want to follow Jesus, this passage is, I love this passage a lot, but it goes into a lot of depth, and I can't really cover all of it. It's not just more stuff about being a gatekeeper, and how Jesus is the gatekeeper, and he's like, I'm the door, I'm the shepherd, I'm the gatekeeper. How are you, Jesus? All these metaphors, man. So if you want to, I encourage you to go home and read it some more, just meditate on it, because I love it. But that's pretty much all I have. So I'm going to pray, and then we'll go into some more scripture. I'm not going to. Dear God, thank you so much for who you are. And thank you for everything you've done for us, Lord. Thank you for sending your Son to die on the cross for us. God, we just repent of wandering away like sheep. We repent that we turn from you, that we think we can do it on our own, that we don't listen to you, that we choose other things over you. And God, tonight we just ask you to go into our small groups and to leave this place, Lord, that we would abide in you and that you would teach us what it means to truly follow you. Thank you for being the good shepherd, Lord. We just ask that we can fully surrender to you and follow you. And that's all this in your name. Amen.